And joining us now, Vlad?
Yeah, good to see you, Senator Amy Klobuchar, the senior senator from Minnesota. So good to have you here on CBS.
Thanks, it's great to be on.
We are excited to get your take on what some of those folks in Frank's focus group were saying. There were a number of refrains there, and one of them was that Senator Kaine was rude. You're a colleague of Senator Tim Kaine. Is it easy to get in a word edgewise when you're having a discussion?
Oh, no. He's an incredibly nice guy, and I think you've heard that before. I think that what this debate was, it was more of a conversation. And when you have a conversation, if anyone's been in a family conversation, you oftentimes go back and forth, right? You don't always agree on everything, and you interrupt each other, and that's what this was. I also think that Governor Pence also interrupted a few times. So I think what really we need to focus on here is the substance. Pence had a mission, and that was to try to change the trajectory of a very bad week for Donald Trump. That didn't happen. Tim Kaine was able to, time and time again, say, hey, can you defend this? Can you defend that Donald Trump hasn't put his taxes out, that he wants nuclear weapons in countries that don't have them? And Mike Pence, while he was articulate and has a record that he can talk about, he wasn't able to defend his running mate, which is the main job of a vice president. And when you get in there, you have to implement that person's policies. If you can't defend them, it's very hard to implement them.
Do you think Tim Kaine overprepared for tonight?
Oh, no. I think, what I was laughing about when Mike Pence sometimes say, oh, that was a line that you had planned. Well, Pence planned to say that was a line that you had planned, so that was also a plan. So, of course, they both prepared for the debate. That's what you do with debates. And I think none of this changes these fundamental differences between these candidates. And what we've been hearing about Donald Trump with taxes and things, you got to connect that to his policies. When he wants to add a bunch of tax cuts to the wealthiest, that hurts the middle class. And he did the same thing when he evaded paying taxes himself. So I think that these two things are connected, and you're going to hear a lot about them in the next two debates as well.
And yet, Senator, a lot of people, even in the initial moments after the debate, were saying, and as the debate was happening, that Mike Pence was offering a different tone than what we've seen from the top of the ticket. He sounded measured. He didn't say bombastic things. It's true that in many instances when Senator Kaine was going after him for some of the things Donald Trump has said, he pivoted away, but that seemed to resonate with a lot of people.
Well, there is no doubt that he has a different tone than Donald Trump, but the fact remains that Donald Trump does have the tone that he has. And what you want in a president is someone who you can trust with their finger on the nuclear code, someone who's a role model for the rest of the country. And what you're seeing since the debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton is that American people watched that carefully, 80 million people, and they said, you know what? This is not what I want. And Hillary Clinton has been doing a lot better in a number of states across the country. She was ahead to begin with, and her lead has grown. And I think it's because of that. And while Mike Pence may have a different tone, he wasn't able to defend what Donald Trump did last week.
Senator, at one point, Governor Pence had come out and he said Vladimir Putin was small and a bullying leader of Russia. Do you think he veered away from the talking points that Donald Trump tends to do when it comes to Putin and to Russia?
I would say that he did, but the point was he still couldn't defend the fact that Donald Trump has said those things, that he has said that Vladimir Putin is a better leader than Barack Obama. He has used words like that, and you would never hear that out of the mouth of Ronald Reagan or George Bush. You would never hear that because they would put politics aside when it comes to those incredibly important relations, and the fact that we've got to deal with a Russia that is hacking into our computers, the Russians are bringing down planes in Ukraine, and the fact that Donald Trump has been praising this leader is one of the most disturbing things that we're going to deal with in this election.
Senator Amy Klobuchar, thank you so much for stopping by.
Well, it was great, and
Thank
I really
you.
enjoyed the debate. It was a beautiful place. It was a debate of substance, and I had a good time.
We'll see what happens next week on Sunday. Might be a very different debate.
Yes.